Who are the top tight ends for week 1 of the fantasy football season? I'm going to give you my tight end rankings in this video. I make new content like this every single day, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you have any start and sit questions for week 1, post it down in the comments below. I'll answer any questions that you have. So with that being said, let's get into the video. Travis Kelce, and he's the undisputed tight end heavyweight in fantasy football. I don't see anybody passing him this upcoming season. Really, the only tight end that I think has a shot is Darren Waller, but Travis Kelce is so consistent, has been for years now. He'll probably finish as tight end 1 this upcoming season, so every single week, start him with confidence. Number 1, Travis Kelce. Number 2, Darren Waller. And he gets the Baltimore Ravens week 1, which is a tough matchup, but it doesn't matter for Darren Waller. You're starting him every single week regardless. Last year, he had a phenomenal season, but it was overshadowed because Travis Kelce was so good last year as well. He's really the only guy that I see challenging Travis Kelce for that number 1 spot. Maybe George Kittle if he can stay healthy, but starting Darren Waller every single week regardless of matchup, that's what you need to do. So Darren Waller, number 2. Number 3, George Kittle. And he has a phenomenal week 1 matchup against Detroit. And really, these are going to be your top 3 guys every single week. George Kittle, the only concern that I kind of have is if they beat up on Detroit so bad that they don't really need to throw it a whole lot in the second half. So there's a little bit of concern there, but still, regardless, he should have a really good first half. He's one of the best tight ends in the NFL, is extremely explosive. So George Kittle, number 3. Number 4, Mark Andrews. And Mark Andrews gets the Las Vegas Raiders week 1, who last year the Raiders were in the middle of the pack against the tight end position. The Raiders did sign KJ Wright this offseason, who KJ Wright last year actually graded well in coverage. He was the 11th best linebacker in coverage last year, according to Pro Football Focus. So this is a tough matchup for Mark Andrews. But there should be a lot of points scored in this game, especially for the Baltimore Ravens, which leads to scoring opportunities. And when they get in close and they pass it, he's really the preferred target for Lamar Jackson. So he should have a solid day week 1. Mark Andrews, number 4. Number 5, Kyle Pitts. And he gets Philadelphia week 1. And this is going to be exciting to see his first real NFL action and also how this team plans to use him. Apparently in camp, they've been moving him all around from playing in the slot to out wide to on the line. So it's going to be very exciting to see exactly how they end up using him in his role in this offense. He's a generational talent. He's going to be one of the top tight ends in the NFL this upcoming season in terms of fantasy football. So start him with confidence week 1 against a favorable matchup against Philly, who last year gave up the 11th most points to the tight end position. So number 5, Kyle Pitts. Number 6, TJ Hawkinson. And I love TJ Hawkinson heading into the season, and I love his season-long outlook. But week 1, we need to temper our expectations a little bit because he gets a brutal matchup against San Francisco, who last year gave up the fewest points to the tight end position. So do not panic if he doesn't have a solid week 1. This team will be playing from behind, though, so there is some outlook there where they're going to have to throw the ball a lot. And early, they should really have to throw the ball early. I believe currently they're 7-point underdogs in this game, so they're going to be down early, have to throw the ball, and really on the outside on this team, you don't have that good of receiving options, so he should really see a bunch of targets because him and Jared Goff have also reportedly been developing a really good chemistry. So TJ Hawkinson, temper your expectations a little bit for week 1, but he's number 6. Number 7, Logan Thomas, and he gets Los Angeles Chargers week 1, who last year the Chargers gave up the 12th most points to the tight end position. He's probably going to see Kaiser White in coverage, who Kaiser White last year was average in coverage, graded by Pro Football Focus amongst linebackers. So it's an okay matchup. He's a guy who moves around the formation, but this should be a low-scoring game. And really, he's going to have to see a touchdown to really make his day really viable. But in PPR leagues, he should have an okay day. So Logan Thomas, number 7. Number 8, Dallas Goedert. And really, once you get to him in these back-end tight end 1s with Logan Thomas in here, you got to play who you have and just hope for the best. Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz in preseason look like they're splitting snaps, which isn't ideal, but we need to see how exactly this works throughout the season. Dallas Goedert right now in his career is a better player than Zach Ertz. But how does this team use them? Maybe Dallas Goedert plays more of the receiving snaps for this team. Maybe it's just totally split. We got to see how it works, but this is an A-plus matchup for both of these guys against Atlanta, who Atlanta last year gave up the 4th most points to the tight end position. So let's see how it works week 1. Just cross your fingers and hope for the best. Dallas Goedert, number 8. Number 9, Tyler Higbee. Tyler Higbee gets the Chicago Bears week 1, and last year was disappointing for Tyler Higbee after a solid 2019 season. And there's 2 reasons why he wasn't very good. Number 1, really inconsistent quarterback play for Jared Goff. And number 2, he was splitting time with Gerald Everett. Well, neither of these guys are no longer with the team. You have now an upgrade at quarterback with Matthew Stafford, and you also have Gerald Everett now in Seattle. So he really should play majority of the snaps at the tight end position. So this is going to open up things for Tyler Higbee in a plus matchup against the Chicago Bears, who last year were giving up the second most points to the tight end position. So if you have Tyler Higbee, I would start him this upcoming week. So Tyler Higbee, number 9. Number 10, Noah Fant. And he gets the New York Giants in week 1. And Noah Fant really could be a great tight end in the NFL if, number 1, he could stay healthy, and number 2, he had a solid quarterback. He's already banged up heading into week 1. He is expected to play, but we need to keep an eye on the injury report. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, because we will keep you up to date on all the latest injury news. So we need to make sure he's going to play for week 1. The second thing, though, is the quarterback play. How good is Teddy Bridgewater compared to Drew Lock? I just don't see a massive upgrade here. So it's going to be a little bit of a slow start for this team against a solid New York Giants team. Last year, the New York Giants were giving up the 10th fewest points to the tight end position. So it may not be the best game, but if you have them and you don't really have any other better options, play him. It's not the best matchup, but still play him. His talent is great. So number 10, Noah Fant. Number 11, Mike Gesicki. And Mike Gesicki is a tight end that I love for season long. But in week 1, this is a really tough matchup against New England, who gave up the 5th fewest points to the tight end position last year. And also, this game currently has the second lowest point total at 43.5. So it's not going to be a high-scoring game. You're really going to need Mike Gesicki to have one of his long receptions to really be a solid tight end for this upcoming week. But I expect him to really be bottled up by this New England defense. But this makes a good buy low candidate for week 1, somebody that I would advise going out, seeing if the manager wants to get rid of him already in week 1, because he has a disappointing week 1 point total. So I would temper your expectations for Mike Gesicki. He comes in at number 11. Number 12, Robert Tonyan. And he gets the New Orleans Saints week 1, but Robert Tonyan is definitely due for a regression heading into the season. His touchdown rate last year was ridiculous. Last year, he had 14 red zone targets and scored on 11 of them. To put that into perspective, we have Travis Kelce, who had 21 red zone targets, but scored on 11. Darren Waller had 24, but scored on 8. So he's definitely going to come down in the touchdown department. But week 1 against New Orleans, who last year New Orleans gave up the 13th most points to the tight end position, and he has one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history throwing on the ball, and what should be a decently high-scoring game with New Orleans and Green Bay. So Robert Tonyan is a top 12 tight end for week 1. Number 13, Rob Gronkowski. He gets Dallas week 1, and really this is just a mismatch for this Tampa Bay offense against this Dallas defense. The Dallas defense should be improved heading into the season, but not week 1 against one of the best offenses in the NFL with so many weapons. This offense should move the ball with ease against this Dallas defense and be in plenty scoring opportunities to see Gronk score a touchdown and have one of those iconic spikes. So Rob Gronkowski, tight end number 13. Number 14, Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith gets Miami week 1, and really I talked about this in one of my earlier videos that you can check out up above, that this timeshare, it's going to be interesting to see how exactly it plays out with him and Hunter Henry. How much does this team go 12 personnel? And if they're not going 12 personnel, who's the tight end that's on the field? Maybe they go both of them. Maybe one of them moves to the slot sometimes. Maybe goes out wide sometimes. How does this tight end committee, these 2 tight ends, play out during the season? It's going to be really interesting to see. And right now you get a Miami team who Miami last year gave up these 6 fewest points to the tight end position. So really, if you have a better option, absolutely start that person over Jonnu Smith, but maybe you don't. Just roll the dice on Jonnu Smith. Really, I would want to avoid this situation as much as possible to get more clarity on how exactly this offense is going to look with both of these guys. But if you're not able to do that and you don't have the luxury, then Jonnu Smith, tight end number 14. Number 15, Tyler Conklin. And once you get to this part of tight ends, you're just looking for opportunity. All right, it's not pretty, but you're looking for opportunity, and Tyler Conklin has opportunity in this offense. He should play all the snaps at the tight end position. Yes, this team did trade for Chris Herndon, but it's going to take him a little bit of time to get acclimated in this offense, up to speed. And Tyler Conklin was already going to be involved prior to the Irv Smith injury. Mike Zimmerman already said that. So Tyler Conklin has a shot at producing some tight end fantasy value for your team. Is it going to be pretty? Maybe not, but this should be a decently high scoring game. Maybe he gets a look or two near the goal line is all you can ask for, and has a couple of receptions. So Tyler Conklin, number 15. And one last guy I want to mention is Jordan Akins. And no, I don't feel great about this, but once again, we're looking for opportunity. He should see all the snaps at the tight end position and be involved in an offense that should have to throw the ball a decent amount. Is it the best situation? Absolutely not, but a guy maybe keep your eye on during the season, because once again, we're just looking for opportunity, and there's going to be plenty of opportunity here. And this team hasn't fully said that Deshaun Watson is going to be out for season. He's going to be out for week 1. They said likely to be out for week 1, and then they're going to reassess it for week 2. So if you have Deshaun Watson coming back in this offense, now Jordan Akins is definitely viable in fantasy football. So last player, Jordan Akins, and that does it. If you have any questions as to who to start and sit for the week, drop it down below. I'll answer any questions you have. Subscribe, like the video. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.